Oh, hi, everybody. We are doing this meeting to solve some doubts about the master. You have the chat available during all the session, and so please feel free to use the chat to ask any question, and we will answer all the questions at the end of the presentation. So we start by, introduce ourselves, the two directors of this program. My name is Dolors Puigjaner. I have a mathematical background. About my research interest, I started with dynamical systems, mainly applied to fluid dynamics, but then I changed a little bit. I moved to modeling and simulating things related to biomechanical problems.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Javier Panadero. I'm the academic director of this program by the UOC, and also I'm a professor in the computer science department. I hold a PhD in high performance computing from the Universitat Autònoma of Barcelona, and my research interests include parallel and distributed computing, optimization and simulation of complex systems, and intelligence algorithms. Well, this is the outline of this presentation. First of all, we will present the master objectives. Then we will explain the enrollment and registration of this program. Later, we will present the teaching methodology. As you know, this is an complete online master. Then we will present how is this methodology. Later, we will explain the master program. That means the different courses of this program. And finally, we will give you some additional information that we consider that it is important that you know.
So we are going to start with the master objective and main characteristics of this master. First, I want to make you know that this is an official program. It means that it gives you access to a PhD students if you want to go on with a PhD. So this is an important thing you have to know. The goal of this master's program is to offer a kind of interdisciplinary training in both fields, between the fields of computational engineering and mathematics. So in this program, several current topics are addressed, which include computer modeling, simulation, numerical methods, or networks and graphs, artificial intelligence, dynamical systems, or big data analysis. So you will see a lot of different subjects that include all these topics. This is, as Javier told you, this is an online program, and there are two universities involved, as probably you guessed. One of the universities is the Universitat Rovira i Virgili, which is, we are going to call it URV, and the other one is the Universitat Oberta de Catalunya, and we are going to call it UOC. So the URV is the coordinating university. This means that all the paperwork you have to deal with, you will have to address to the URV. From the enrollment, from the very beginning in the enrollment process, till the end when you have to ask for your certificate degree. So everything related to paperwork, remember that you have to do it through the URV University. The UOC University has the main role that it has in the program is that it provides all the things related to online resources, the virtual campuses, and all kind of online resources you have to use during the master. Of course, there are teachers and there are lectures from both universities. You will have professors which are working in URV and professors who are working in the UOC University. So the main goal of this master is to prepare you to take positions in industry or in research centers or university, but mainly in research, development, and innovation departments. So this is the objective of the training program. And relating to the profiles, this online master's degree targets postgraduate students with a science or engineering degree. Here you have some of them, but it doesn't mean that you must have one of these. I mean, each kind of engineering degree is suitable to be successful in this program, or each kind of like science degree. So because it's something in between mathematics and engineering, so anything related to these fields is enough to be successful in the program.
Well, let's speak now about the competences of this program. Here, we just explained the most relevant competences, the 5 more relevant competences. The other competences can be found in the student guide. Then let's see these relevant competences. The first is the ability to apply advanced numerical and computational methods to solve engineering problems. Then, during the master, you will learn about advanced computational methods, such as parallel and distributed methods, and also you will learn to advanced numerical method to solve engineering problems. The second competences is the ability to model, simulate, and analyze system, processes, and networks. Well, nowadays the real systems are so complex. Then, before to carry out any change in the systems, it is necessary to model the system, simulate, and analyze the change before to carry out the change in the system. Then you will learn about it. The third competences is the ability to design, implement, and validate algorithms using the most convenient structure. Well, depending on the algorithm that you are developing, you have to use one data structure or another. Then you will learn which is the most suitable structure depending on the algorithm that you are developing. It is a neural network algorithm, optimization algorithm. Well, you will learn about it. The 4 competences is manage mathematical, statistical, and simulation software. Well, during the master in the different course, usually in the practical activities, you will use this kind of software that it is very, very important, both if you work in industry or in research. Then you will learn about it. And finally, the 5 competences is the ability to develop a complete research proposal. This program has a very important weight in research. Then, when you finish the master, you will be able to develop a complete research proposal by your own. And then this is the 5 more relevant competences. And I mentioned before, this program has more competences that you can find in the student guide. Well, let's see now the career opportunities. When you finish this master, you will be able to work in different positions. For example, in research centers, if you are interested in a research career. Also, you can work as project manager of scientific program or work in different positions related to artificial intelligence, big data, or something like that. Also, you are able to work as scientific and technical advisor in companies, or if you are more interested in academic career, you also are able to work as professor at the university. Well, a very important characteristic of this master is that this is an official master. As I mentioned before at the beginning of this presentation, this master gives access to a PhD studies. Then, if you are interested in a future to pursue a PhD, this is a good master for that.
And now we are going to give some advice about enrollment and registration. You will see, as you see here in the presentation, there are different pre-enrollment periods or phases, and each phase is associated to an enrollment period. Now we are like in the third phase, which is from I think it finished in next July, the 14th. So, but then there will be more phases. But in any case, we recommend you to make the to guarantee that you are going to have a seat in the master. So here is just like to know that if you pre-enroll like now, then you can make the enrollment in July. If you pre-enroll a little bit later, you are going to have to make the registration in September. I think that in the next slide, here you have, if you enroll till July, the first period, second period, then you can make the registration during July, and then from the third period, I mean, if you are not pre-enroll, if you enroll now, then you will have to make the registration in September. We recommend you, I mean, the period of registration in September goes from September the 8th to September the 30th, but we recommend you to make the registration as soon as possible and no later than September the 12th. And why we recommend that? This is because there is some gap between the registration you do, because you do it at the URV University, and when you have access to the virtual campus, because I mean, we need some time to make the information between the URV and the UOC to move information from one university to the other. And so we recommend you to make the registration as soon as possible and no later than September the 12th. So if you have any question, you have here this is important. If you have any question related to pre-registration, registration, everything related to paperwork, then you have here the email address where you have to address this kind of questions, which are not related to the program itself, but to the paperwork related to the program. So it's better if you ask directly to this email address, because they know exactly what do you have to do related to anything about your transcript, your papers, your documentation, everything, any kind of this stuff. So,
well, let's speak now about the teaching methodology. The first things that I would like to mention, that this is a complete online master, then that means that there is not face-to-face classes. All the teaching is done on the UOC virtual campus. A second thing that I would like to mention also is that this program is divided into semesters. The first semester that goes from October to February, and a second semester that goes from February to July. Then the different courses of this master are given just in one semester. For example, if you are interested in the simulation course, this course is given only in the first semester. By the reason, it's very important that you check the schedule of this program in order to see in which semester is given each course. Later, Dolors show you the specific schedule of this program. Well, also an interesting thing is the teaching language. The vehicular language of this program is English. We say that it is English because some teaching material, as could be books, papers, or different slides, could be exclusively in English. But of course, the communication with the classroom and with the professor can be done in Spanish, Catalan, or English. That means that if you ask a question to a professor in Spanish, the professor will reply you in Spanish. Same if you ask the question in English, the professor will reply you in English. We say that the vehicular language is English just by the reason, because some material is just in English. Then it is also very important that all the students has the ability to read technical documents in English. Well, let's speak now about the assessment model. Mainly in this program, there are two types of assessment course. For some course, the assessment model is based on a continuous evaluation. That means that the student during the course are required to complete a series of activities such as practical exercise, online presentation, quiz, or projects. And then at the end of the course, the professor computes the different activities that the student done during the course and give you a final mark. And that's all. Here, finish the course. The student gives this final mark, and that's all. And the second type of evaluation is very similar to the first one, but in addition to all these continuous activities, also at the end of the course, the student has to carry out a final test. Then the final mark is computed between the continuous evaluation and this final test. This final test is usually in the mandatory subjects. It's just to prove that the student has the minimum knowledge to pass the course. Then this is the main type of evaluation, just with a continuous evaluation or continuous evaluation plus a final test. Usually in the optional course or the evaluation is just continuous evaluation.
And now we are going to give some more details about the master program. It is a 60 credits master, and in the master there are 3 compulsory subjects and 4 optional subjects, and then there is the final master's thesis. All the subjects except the master final thesis are 6 credits, and the master final thesis are 18 credits. It's an 18 credit subjects. All subjects are taught during one semester, but the final master thesis it's organized like in an annual subject. So you have to start it from the very beginning in order to be able to finish it at the end of the program. So the next, here it's more or less the same that I said before, 3 compulsory subjects, which means a total of 18 credits, 4 optional subjects, which means a total of 24 credits, and the final master's degree project, which is a big subject because it's 18 credits. It means that it's a big project. So here you have which are the compulsory subjects, there are 3 subjects and the final master's degree project. The subjects are simulation, numerical methods in engineering, and high performance computing. These 3 subjects are compulsory for everybody. And then you have you see that you have a wide list of optional subjects, all of them related either to mathematics or to computational engineering, and some of them which are in between the 2 fields. So you have to just choose 4 of these subjects here, which subjects, it depends on your interest. This is depending on your background, on your interests. There are some students who want to go on with his background and not change anything. Just be more expert in what they know. And there are students who want to make a change and they want to start something new. So it depends on you. The thing is that before doing the final registration, you have to write me telling me which is your proposal, which subjects are you thinking to enroll, and I will give you some advice. If it's okay, I will say, okay, you can go on with your enrollment. Or if there is something that it's not coherent enough, I will tell you, it would be better if you change this subject for this other subject, or any kind of advice that you need, if needed, of course. And Then the other important thing is that subjects are organized in a semester. I mean, all subjects last only for a semester, but the thing that you have to know is that subjects are only offered in one specific semester. I mean, we don't repeat subjects during the semesters. Those subjects that are taught during the first semester are only taught the first semester, not in the second one. So here we have the list of subjects that you can take during the first semester and the list of subjects that you can take during the second semester. You see that 2 of the compulsory subjects are during the first semester, and the third compulsory subject is in the second semester. So if you plan to finish the master in one academic year, you are going to course to compulsory subjects during the first semester and one during the second semester. And here you have to add, of course, the final master project that, as we said before, it lasts for the whole year. You start from the very beginning, not the first day, of course, but from October, November, and then you are going to work in it for the whole course, for the whole academic year. And I think that with this, we can change to additional information.
Okay, now I would like to give you some additional information and highlight other information that we mentioned during the presentation. Well, the first, and I mentioned during this presentation, is that the master is in online format. This allows you to adapt this master to your needs, and this is very, very important. Speaking a little bit about the professor, all the professors of this master are experts in computing or mathematics. All of them are active researchers that they collaborate in international research groups. Speaking a little bit about the subjects, Dolors explained before, this master has only 3 mandatory subjects and 14 optative courses. Then you can specialize you in the areas that are more interesting for you. This is very, very interesting thing, a very specific characteristic of this master that is very attractive for that. Regarding to the final master thesis, you can choose between different areas. We have a lot of areas to carry out the final master thesis. Well, for example, simulation, optimization, complex system, blockchain, well, a lot. Some example of master thesis that were done last year, as for example, autonomous car, clinical data analysis related to COVID, development of new artificial neural network, or privacy in social network. You can see the range of areas is very wide. And of course, I'm sure that you find the area that you want. Well, before to finish this presentation, I would like also to explain that from the beginning of this master degree until your graduation, you will have the help of a counselor. In this case, the counselor is the Dr. Alejandro Monero, that has a computer science degree and a PhD in mathematics. Then he knows very well this master, both the computational part as the mathematics part. Then he's a great counselor. Then during the master, he's advise you and guide, well, in any doubt that you can have. Then it's very useful.
Yeah,
Well,
another thing I want to add is that Alejandro knows both universities. I mean, that is an important thing also, because he has been working in both universities, so he knows the specific things of each university. So you can ask things related to paperwork, which involves URV University, but you can also ask things about the teaching methodology, which is more related to the URV-UOC, so you can ask him about anything related to the master.
Well, before to finish this presentation, we would like to put a video where we explain the work methodology that we consider that is very interesting. Then let's see the video, and after this video, we will answer your questions.
Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you.
I would never have thought that a university could adapt so well to the way I live my life. The UOC is an online university where you don't have to worry about the time or the place. It lets me study whenever and wherever I want. Right from the start, I've had a calendar with the deadlines for each course, which has helped me organize my time. I choose my courses depending on the time I have available, and always with advice from my tutor.
I like the dynamic way we learn, using all the different resources we have available for each course. I get personalized feedback from the instructor on each activity I submit, which helps me learn and strengthen my knowledge.
The activities set provide tools to interpret the world and sharpen my critical eye. They're based on real professional situations that I could find in my day-to-day life. I've learned a lot from my classmates in the teamwork activities. They're able to share many different points of view. The UOC is able to adapt to my pace of study and lets me do everything I want.
I learn continuously and actively every day.
At the UOC, I have to face practical situations that will prepare me for my future career.
Okay, there is a question related to the methodology that we are going to use in the master. And what we want to say is that there are not going to be, classes in streaming. Everything is asynchronous. So professors are going to give the material in the campus, and they are going to give you also some activities you will have to complete. But there is not going to be any kind of streaming classes. There is not a specific schedule, right? So that's one of the questions. And it seems that there is no other question. So we are going to wait for some minutes if somebody else wants to write.
Yes, we have enough time. You can ask more questions.
Yeah, let's give some time. If somebody. You are asking if there is going to be classes that are uploaded. Some professors upload some videos that can be their own videos or other videos that they consider that are interesting for your learning, but other professors just upload some documentation or some books or any kind of material. So
yes, depend a lot of the subject.
Yeah.
In some courses you can find online videos, but in other you can find PDF, paper, books. It depends.
It depends a lot on the subject, on the professor. So you are not going to expect a face-to-face course, but just in a video format, because it's completely different. The master has been thought from the very beginning as an online master, so and in an asynchronous way. So it's mainly, professors tend to mainly upload documentation, some videos sometimes, and what it is expected is that you work on that documentation, on that material, and that you ask all the questions that of course arise when you study. So ask them in the forum. There are a lot of ways to interact with the other students, with the professors, and this is probably the best way to learn in this master. just asking questions to your peers or to your professor.
Yes, we have more questions. The next questions is, are all the lectures available for the beginning? Well, this is also similar question to the previous one. Depends on the professor and on the course. Usually, all the courses are divided in some modules. At the beginning of each module, the material is provided to the student, but there are other courses where the professor put available all the material of all the modules at the same time. Depends on the course. Doesn't it, Dolors?
Yeah, and the other question is, can one start the Masters in February? And here the answer is no. I mean, no in the sense that you cannot enroll in February. There is just one period to enroll. I mean, even though the subjects are organized in semesters, the enrollment is annual. So right now you have to enroll those subjects that you are going to take during the first semester and during the second one. So you could start the master in February. In that case, that you are going to only in this first year, you are going to only take courses from the second semester. But then, of course, you are not going to be able to finish the master this year. You will have to finish the master next year because there are subjects that are only taught during the first semester. So this is one of the question. And
the next question is, it is possible to have the material of some subjects from the second semester in the first semester? Well, maybe here the answer is not, because the subject of the second semester start on February. Then it is not possible to enter in this classroom before the second semester start. Maybe if you contact with the professor, he could provide you some material, but it's not sure, depending if the material change from one year to another. Well, depends on many things. Then the more general answer, maybe in this case, is not.
And the other question is that if the master, I mean, if you can be a part-time student in this master, and the answer is yes. I mean, this is what we actually recommend to all the students that are working, because it's quite hard if you want to finish the master in 1 year and you are working at the same time. So if you are working, we recommend to complete the master, the program, in 2 or 3 years. So you can enroll just a number of credits. The minimum number of credits per year you have to enroll is 12, which means 2 subjects. But of course, if you just enroll 2 subjects per year, the master will last for several years. So, I mean, we recommend like to plan to finish the master in 2 or 3 years at most. But of course, you can be a part-time student in the master, and it's what we recommend if you are working.
Okay, next question is from Elsa Martinez. I have a disability. In this case, there is a possibility to have more time to finish the exam, and can we do them with a computer? The answer is yes. You have more time to finish the exam and also to finish the different continuous activities that you will carry out during the course. And related to the last part of your question, can we do them with a computer? All the activities and all the exams are online, are doing with a computer. We have not any problem related with that. Okay, then summarizing your question is yes, you have more time to do your exam and your continuous activities, and you can do it using a computer. This is not a problem.
And there is another question that says, if can for instance do 4 subjects every semester and then do the final thesis over the summer and hand it in, for instance, in October? And the answer is, if it's not possible to finish the master in October, if you want to do your final thesis over the summer, this is possible, but then you will have to present your final project not in October, but in September, and it's in the beginning of September. So if you want to have like more time, there is another possibility. It's like do not enroll the final thesis in the first year. So wait till the second academic year, then you can enroll just the final thesis, and you can ask to like make the defense of this project in January. So you are going to you have the possibility to finish next January. But in that case, it's important to not enroll the master project till the next academic year, because otherwise you will have to pay twice for it. And it's important it's important to know that if you enroll a subject for second time, if you fail the first time and you have to re-enroll for a second time, then you are going to pay a little bit more. So if you know that you are not going to do that subject, do not enroll it till you till you are in the position that you are going to study it. You have chances to pass it.
Well, the next question is also for Elsa Martinez. I have done a math degree, but I haven't little or more experience with programming. It is a problem. And no, in this case, it's not a problem, because in this master, we have different levels of programming. We have subject where we are starting to learn into programming from the beginning, and more advanced subject in programming. But for this master, it's not necessary to be an expert in programming. You have to know a little bit how to develop basic programs, but that's all. And we start from the beginning. Then you have the opportunity to learn. It is not a problem in this case.
I think that the master has like subjects which are more related to maths, other subjects which are more related to computer engineering. So it depends on your background. You are going to work a little bit more in one subject or in another, but all the subjects are available for any kind of background. It doesn't matter if your background is more like mathematical or computer engineering or another engineering. Everything is, as Javier said, everything is taught from the beginning, but you have, of course, if you have that background, it will be easier for you, and so you are not going to have to work so much in those subjects, and you will have to spend more time working in other subjects that are going to be a little bit more difficult depending on your background. But that's it. All kind of engineering. We have students from all kind of engineering, and all of them have been able to finish the master successfully. So I think that this is not a problem. There is another question from Roger Ferrer that asks, is there a minimum number of subjects to do every year semester? Yes. Every year the minimum number of credits that you have to enroll is 12, which means like 2 subjects per year, which is few credits, 12 credits or 2 subjects. So this is the minimum, but we recommend to do a little bit more, just because if you just do 12 credits per year, you are going to be in the master for 5 years, which we think that it's too much. So it's better to plan to finish the master in 2-3 years, 4 at most. But okay, it's up to you. If you want to be in the master for 5 years, this is a possibility.
Next question says, are you in contact with companies so that the student can go with them for the final thesis, thus increasing the chance to find employment when they finish their master? Well, this is a very difficult question, because we are starting on that. Then this year we are starting to stay in contact with companies, but not yet. We have not companies. No, I don't know if this question is well answered. Dolors, do you want to?
We did this the last year, or this past course, we work on it. And some students, like a couple or 3 students, had the opportunity to make their final thesis in a company. So we are trying to increase the offer, but I mean, right now we don't know how many positions we are going to have related to that. The thing is that if you are working in a company and you have the possibility to make your final thesis there, or if you have any contact in a company and you think that they are working in something that could be interesting as a final thesis project, I mean, we can work on trying to make it possible. But if you are asking us if we have like a number of positions or of final projects that you have the possibility to do in a company, the answer is we are working on it. We hope that we are going to have some of them, but not for everybody. I mean, and not a lot of them, not right now. Maybe in a couple or 3 years, we are able to have more offer in that sense, because of course it's a very interesting thing.
Well, next question is for Jordi Rayal. Raya, I'm finishing the Master of Computer Engineering at UOC. I suppose that the subjects with the same number are convalided. True? Simulation, artificial intelligence, high-performance computing, large-scale distributed systems. Well, here the answer is some of them yes, other no. For example, if for example simulation or artificial intelligence, we can convalidate because the syllabus is the same, but there are other subjects, for example, large-scale distributed systems, that are a little bit different in both masters. Then it is not possible to convalidate it, but some of them you can convalidate, of course.
Yeah, it depends on the syllabus. I mean, if the contents of this, it doesn't depend on the name of the subject. It depends on the content of the subject, because sometimes the name is the same, but some subjects with the same name can be oriented in one way or in another way. So if the subjects are like oriented in the same way and most of the content is the same, it is going to be convalidated. If the content is quite different, then it's not going to be convalidated. So
yes, you know the professors. Yes, and he knows the professor. He can ask to the professor directly, because you are now making the master.
Yeah, probably he knows the professor, so he can even ask them directly if the syllabus is the same or not. And then the other thing is that you can ask for it, and then we are going to answer. If
the best way is ask the professors. Yes.
So the other question is, my problem is the inverse of Elsa. I am a professional programmer, but I fear that my math level may not be enough for the master, and I didn't study math in a long time. It's a problem. I mean, it's not a problem in the sense that before you, a lot of students were in the same situation and they were able to be successful. But of course, it means that you are going to have to work a little bit harder in these math subjects. But on the other hand, the advantage that you have is that probably for you, those subjects that are more on the side of computer science are going to be easier. So it's a question of balance of time. More dedication on math subjects and less dedication on those that you have a better background. So that's it. So of course, you will have to work a little bit harder. I am not going to lie you. So you will have to work harder in those math subjects, but anybody with a background, with an engineering background or a scientific background, with a little bit of effort, is going to be able to be successful in those subjects, because we have experience in it. A lot of students before did it. So don't worry. Just think that you are going to be a little bit, you are going to have to spend a little bit more time in those subjects.
Perfect. The next question is from Mauricio Ayala. He asks, what do you recommend at previous work for a student like us who do not own a strong programming background. I also know just very little about programming. Then, as Dolors mentioned, this is not a problem because we started from the very beginning. But if you are more confident, if you check some videos before to start the course, of course, it is a good option. And the main language that we use is Python. Then maybe if you have time during this summer, maybe you can check some videos about Python in order to know a little bit more, but it is not necessary because we start from the very beginning with Python, from the very advanced programming. For example, in distributed systems, where we use advanced programming, but of course, if you have not a strong background, maybe this is not a good subject for you. Then you also have to consider in which subject you can enroll. Doesn't it, Dolors? That you more or less agree?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's like the answer is more or less the same that I gave for math. I mean,
yeah.
If your skills in the computer programming part are not good enough, you will have to dedicate more time on those subjects. If you now have some time, then of course you can, like what Javier said, you can just review some or look for some books or videos about introduction to programming, and that's it. You can learn something in advance just to be more confident in yourself. I think that's it.
Well, the next question is from Walter. There is any way to apply to a scholarship?
There were, but I think that well, I don't know if there is one of it that is open. I don't think so. I think that now they are closed. I mean,
I guess it's late because for apply to scholarships, maybe it's between April and May, I think. Yeah. The answer is yes, but you are a little bit late.
Yeah, maybe for the next academic year.
Next question is, what percentage of students do complete the master without failing any or very few subjects?
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't know exactly the numbers.
It's a high number because usually mainly the 90% of the students pass every year, but the exact number, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know exactly the numbers, but as Javier said, most of the students that fail is because they are working and they try to finish the master in just 1 year, and this is a big effort. So if you are just studying, I mean, you can finish the master in 1 year. It's quite available to do that. It's quite possible. If you are working, of course, you can finish the master in 1 year. This is not impossible. Some students did it before, but it requires a big effort. So it depends on what you are. I mean, if you want to sacrifice some of your personal life or not. If you can and want to sacrifice things, then you will be able to finish in 1 year. If not, it's quite difficult. So my recommendation, if you are working, think about finish the program in 2 years. I think this is quite a good balance between working and studying. And for those students that do that, I think that most of them pass all the subjects and they don't fail.
Well, next question is from Jordi. To which mail I should ask for convalidation or from recommendations? From recommendation, maybe you can ask to Dolors or myself. Maybe in the chat you can I don't know how to write this mail, but to Jordi.
I don't know.
But okay, Jordi, I think in the web page there are our mail. If or not, then let me try, because I think in the last slide of this presentation, mira, here there are our mail. Then you can write us. And from convalidation, I think that you have to write to Secretaría from URV.
Yeah, there was the email in one of the slides, in one related to registration, I think, or if you pass, can you pass the presentation? I don't know if you can. Okay.
Okay, then from recommendation, this is the mail, and from convalidations, okay, this mail. I go from the beginning of the presentation. No. To here, master.scs. In this email, you can ask from convalidations. And the last questions, I don't understand very well the question because
he's asking about some subjects.
Okay.
If I choose modelado mediante ecuaciones diferenciales, elementos finitos y diferencias finitas y análisis multivariante de datos, it is a good choice for becoming a model engineer. Yes, it is. This is a good choice, but this is just 3 subjects, so you have to add another one.
Yes, sí.
So take a look there and think about another one to add here. But of course, if you are thinking more in the part of modeling, especially the 2 first subjects, you have to choose them, I think.
Yes, if some of you have some question about it, you can send us an email to Dolors and me, and we can recommend it about the subject. You can explain your background, your interest, and we can help you to select the most suitable subject for you.
Yeah, first I always recommend you to take a look to all the subjects, to look at their contents, and then like make a proposal. Or I think that those subjects would be good if I am interested in whatever, and then we can give you some advice. We need like some kind of which are your interests, because otherwise it's difficult to make any kind of advice. But if you tell us which are your interests, we can help you to choose.
More questions? And you have to do other question. Well, we can wait. Okay, then Dolors, here we can finish the session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.